Hey there, my friends. It's Dave Wood, and I wanted to welcome you to the Daily Shortcut. And I'll be your host today, and I was inspired to record this particular Daily Shortcut episode because of a phenomenal misunderstanding that permeates the world of home-based business. And this misunderstanding causes unnecessary suffering among many of you watching this. In fact, when I got started in this industry, specifically in network marketing, I did the same thing. And so I actually understand exactly where you are right now, if you can believe that, and more. You see, even though deep down I knew that any network marketing business wasn't a get-rich-quick arrangement, I knew that, right? I sure expected to get rich quick. When I got involved in my first company, it was Amway. A lot of you know what that is. And I was sure frustrated when I didn't get rich as fast as I wanted. I remember seeing my brother, Will. A lot of you guys have seen him on these episodes, but he actually got me into Amway and I got him into NLP. And I was sitting there in Phoenix, Arizona, and he was standing up on the whiteboard drawing out those mesmerizing circles. One person got another, and then they got five, who got five, who got five. And that night, I fell asleep hallucinating. And I didn't even need to eat any magic mushrooms to hallucinate, if you could believe it. I just kept thinking, if I just get five and they multiply, and they get five and they multiply, and they get five down, five left, I'm gonna have 25,000 people in my group. This is just gonna take me 5 weeks. Have you ever seen something like that in a hotel room and then been like, that's what I'm gonna do, right? Well, much to my surprise, I wasn't nearly as good at Amway as I thought I'd be initially, and I didn't get rich quite as quick as I thought. Now, don't get me wrong, I showed killer presentations, because I'm weird. I tell lots of weird stories, right? I worked all night after I got out of work. I was working in sales jobs, and I certainly had a dream that was huge, right? But something was missing, and I couldn't quite figure out what was the missing key that when I put it in the lock and turn it, it will unlock. Well, 3 years later, after the same struggle, I quit Amway because it still wasn't working. I was like, it wasn't working, not pointing at me. What I did, I joined another company, I joined another deal, thinking that Amway was the cause of my undue frustrations, even though they're now twice as big as they were then, right? Now, the funny thing was, the next company that I built, I put them in about 30 people in a month, which to me was amazing at the time. Now it's not much, but at the time it was oh my gosh, I was astonished. I thought I'd uncovered the truth. And the truth is that although I'm an MLM genius, Amway just stinks. In other words, it's their fault. Let's put the blame on them, right? Now, here's the thing. All 30 of those people were actually just recruited from my old Amway business. In other words, I just took them from over there and just put them in my new thing. It took a long time for me to form the bond with them and to get them in Amway and build the relationships, and all I really had to do to sponsor them was to give them a call and say that I found the key. So after that month was over, my normal struggle resumed, and once again, I found myself frustrated, unable to grow a business like I knew I should be able to do. In other words, I was in the same spot. So what I did, rather than looking at myself, I quit that company too. I'm like, oh yeah, this company over here, I don't like them because Amway did this and they didn't do that, and I want something that's new that does this other thing than Amway. It's just making excuses. So finally, I got involved in a company where I learned that there are only 2 keys to success in the MLM profession, and this is going to transfer to whatever you're building online. And those keys are to build influence, number 1, and then number 2, to consistently work over time using systems. See, what I discovered even later than that is that those are the same 2 keys to success in any profession that you're a part of that's going to create leveraged income, whether you're building restaurants or whether you're volunteering at Greenpeace and want to climb up the weird Greenpeace corporate ladder that they have with a bunch of pot smoking yet business-dressed hippies all wanting to save the whales. You see, I did work for Greenpeace, by the way. What I was missing wasn't talent. What I was missing was influence and rapport with people. What I was missing wasn't hard work and consistency. What I was missing was influence and rapport with a large enough group. See, I spent so much time wandering around in shopping malls looking for hot prospects that I didn't realize that I was ignoring the fundamental basic law of growing long-term relationships. And so because I had no long-term relationships, I was going around like looking for people to get them in. You see, there's no hidden key to success, either in network marketing or whatever else you're involved with. Businesses are usually sustained, especially businesses that generate residual income, by long-term relationships. You can't build a business from a group of people that have no idea who you are and expect them to stay around. This is a common thing that people think online. They think, I'm gonna go get a bunch of traffic, I'm gonna throw them at this thing, not do anything ever again, and get rich. It's like a magical slot machine online that you put in a quarter and get out $1. It just doesn't exist, right? It might work for a week and then stop working, and then you throw more money in and it's not working the way that it was because you're not doing these things. So when I discovered that my only issue was bonds with other human beings, I built an organization in 6 months that had well over 1,000 active distributors, and I did it part-time doing hotel meetings and stuff through traditional, normal, dumb, old network marketing methods like warm market, weekly meetings, and super Saturdays. Now those things work and I call them dumb in jest, but the reality is that I didn't like doing them. But then I discovered the internet. Now the internet is a glorious thing because I'm making this in Costa Rica. And where are you? Probably not in Costa Rica, you're probably somewhere else. That means that I'm talking to you all over the world, no matter where you are, which is where you're sitting or standing. You see, here's the key to technology. Well, it's cool, and there are some people that teach push-button recruiting tactics, and I teach push-button recruiting tactics too, which is that you be you and then push the button to send out you in an email. Here's the thing. A lot of these things people teach are either lying or massive distortions of the truth. You actually need to do things that connect with people, that connect with them deep down in their heart, in their soul. The internet's a tool, nothing more, but it's a fabulous tool that allows anyone to expand their sphere of leverage and influence beyond the imagination of kings and emperors in the past in a relatively short period of time. However, here's the thing I want you to understand. While we're expanding influence, it's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to walk onto a stage of thousands of people without mastering some keys. If you've got a lot of money, you can put out some cash into Google advertising or YouTube advertising or Facebook advertising or the new advertising over there or outsourcing with 1 million people. And if you know what you're doing, maybe you can generate 10, 20, 30 leads your first day, 100, 200 leads, 1,000 leads in a day. And if you don't know what you're doing though, here's the key. You could spend $50 and get 2 leads, or like me, 0 when I started, right? I mean, it was like all the money you spend and you get no leads. And so you're like, well, back to the drawing board. And look, I'm sweating because I'm thinking about how many people do this and it's stressing me out. I'm actually sweating because it's hot. And I love you. By the way, you're sexy. I don't know if anybody's told you that in a while. How do I know? The internet. Google told me. Now, if you don't have money and this is your first business, here's what I want you to understand, right? It's weird how I do that. I'll just like talk and then change stories and stuff like that. Aren't I distracting you into your success? Here's the thing. It might take you 3 months of hard work to get 5 to 10 leads per day if you're doing it organically and finally start seeing results, and that's totally okay. After you get the leads, a certain percentage of the leads are going to join you if you're connecting with them, and a certain percentage they don't join you. You can't change that. It's how people are, right? You just got to keep sowing the seeds. You might get 7 leads and maybe you're going to earn $95 in affiliate commissions and sign someone up in your opportunity, and it'll be like that. And you also might get 20 leads and you might earn no money at all. I have a lot of people, and what happens is like one day it's like I get 50% sign-ups and the next day it's none, and it's like, what's the problem? Now sometimes there's a problem, but sometimes it's just those people signed up and those people didn't. Let's go get more, right? You can't fix this, but here's what you can do through time, communication, and energy. You can change the results that you get, not just every day, not just every week, but you can change them permanently, organically, and you can literally create a daily stream of leads and income coming in by focusing on some simple things. So you see, in my company, Empower Network, the system itself is designed to allow you to build trust and relationships by sharing valuable, uplifting videos and other content that people actually want to consume. This is actually the purpose of this show, is to empower you, to inspire you, and therefore we're going to build rapport, and over a period of time, a lot of you are going to buy things, and that generates business for us. And a lot of you won't buy things, and that's okay. We can just create impact through the show, and a lot of you will just share it with your friends and people that you know because you're creating change in your life. And as you're watching it, you're building influence by becoming the person that's got the goods and the information to change things around you. And here's the thing, what we're doing with this works. It shows everywhere in our traffic and the results and the sign-up numbers and the people that are coming in. Influence online is easier than building local influence, and it's way faster and bigger too once you've got the keys. Now here's what I want you to understand though, because this is not true always for everybody. It depends on your background, it depends on how you're used to relating to people and what you're doing. But here's what I want you to understand, because it's faster, don't expect instant magic. The reason I bring this up is because sometimes I get somebody who's brand new to business, brand new to the internet, and they complain when they get their first 7 leads and no one buys anything, and they haven't even sent an email yet. That's not how it works. People don't just instantly buy stuff and make you rich without you interacting with people or like being a real person and hiding behind the internet and giggling like while you're working your magical slot machine, right? There's online gambling casinos for that, and they don't work that well consistently in your favor either, right? There's a house edge. Well, here on the internet, I'm gonna give you the edge. You need to learn how to get a lot of leads and build a lot of relationship with lots of people all over the world. Don't expect magic, expect to work hard and create the magic. When you do that, expect a learning curve. There is going to be a learning curve. This is the fastest way to wealth in the world, right? Sustaining relationships using tools. It's not magic. It's not a bullet that you shoot and like it just fries everything in its path, creating success and riches. Sometimes you just have to reach down inside yourself and make that decision that you want to make, to take massive action, to decide immediately that you're going to focus, you're going to do whatever it takes to complete a certain task before you proceed to the next, and to continue to build your business through systems over time. Other times, you've got to realize that quality is more important than meeting a certain schedule. Why? You need to realize that if you focus on doing something consistently, and if you focus on doing something quality, and if you focus on building rapport relationships, on giving before you receive, you are going to change other people and transform your own business. Now, before I wrap up this daily episode of The Daily Shortcut, I want to talk about creativity and keeping focus in your business, and here's why. Because no matter how passionate, no matter how immersed you are in your business, sometimes you're going to lose focus. From time to time, it will happen. And that makes it too easy to become impatient with your success, because maybe you get all over the place and you think it's not working, you don't really know where you're at, you don't know how to track it, and maybe for a minute you'll lose your passion, and some people, they'll let that make them quit. But see, lack of focus is usually not just the death of internet people, it's usually the death of all startup companies and entrepreneurs around the world, right? For example, my forehead's sweating right now. And a lot of people would stop the video and start it over. But for myself, I would just point to it and focus and realize that no matter what's going on in the environment, I can actually get you to focus more on what I'm saying and doing. Isn't it fascinating how that just happened? See, not knowing what direction to go in or what to create might make you not connect to the creativity that you have, but you've got to be willing to stick to a plan without experiencing insecurity, doubt, and lack of motivation from outside sources. Oh, I need motivation from this guru or that, or my upline leader's not motivating me. I get people who quit in Empower Network because they get sponsored by someone who quits, and they're like, well, my sponsor didn't help me. And it's like, you want them to go to your house, grab your hand, and walk you through a field of flowers. On the other side of the field of flowers, there's beautiful women. They're all nude, by the way, and great riches and like rivers flow. I mean, what do you want magic? I'm going to give you magic, and the magic is actually you. See, for years online, here's what I did. I tried to find the ninja formula. I was looking for like the secret for perfect focus. And along the way, I've realized several powerful things about focus and the ability it has to create big results. Secret number one, focus comes from clarity. Focus doesn't last long without being clear. What do I mean by clear? Well, being clear is knowing exactly what you want, where you're going, in a way that if you described it, everyone would get trapped in the beauty of the vision. Without being clear on your desired outcome and why you want it, you're going to eventually lose focus before you're going to hit that goal, because the goal isn't clear enough to keep you aligned. Whether that's building a business, whether that's your goal, or whether it's to create a blog post that creates the conversions that you want, you've got to be clear on your outcome first. Number two, determination. A strong desire to find or create something that's unstoppable. Focus comes from being determined, from determination. A real desire to find or create something or do something, an even stronger reason why you're going to do it. Secret number three, focus is closely related with faith. There's a strong relationship between focus and faith. When you have absolute faith, you'll find that the focus to achieve your outcome will come from the inside. Faith is a deep belief in yourself, in your vision, what you're doing and why you're doing it, in the people that you're surrounding with. Faith in people, a kind of knowing that you're in the right place now, at the right time, doing the right thing. And you are the eye in the center of the tornado that's standing perfectly still. As you get to secret number four, which is that greater focus can come from feedback. See, focus comes from knowing that you're doing the right thing and marketing the right products and helping the right people for your vision. A way of knowing this is through feedback from your environment. In other words, you're doing something and you're receiving information from the environment, from mentors, from testing, from tracking, that's giving you feedback on what you're actually doing. You're creating something and you're hearing from hundreds of people what they like about it. You do a webinar, you see people buying, you see what people are struggling with, and you see what they want. This is all important feedback. And knowing that, you can serve the desires of your people, your audience, and you could create a ninja-like focus. And I'm talking about like a real ninja throwing stars as he's meditating on top of a mountain. Secret 5, ninja star secret number 5, realizing that sometimes you have to take a time out, or your body will just time out and your mind will time out because you're not doing it. Some days you have a special kind of feeling inside where you make a decision to get in the zone and be creative. Maybe it's a Saturday, maybe you're just determined to stay in and create something incredible. You have to realize now that you need to take time out and reward yourself and get away from structured work to allow your imagination to flow into the wild thing inside that's you. See, the reality is that everybody goes through ups and downs in their ability to maintain structured focus. Sometimes it's nutrition, sometimes it's diet. Sometimes it's just the time of the month, right? Not just for the ladies, also for the guys, right? The reality is that, I know I have a period too, but it's in my brain, you know. Can you believe I said that? See, here's the thing. Regardless of whether you can or not, ultimately, here's what I want you to understand. When you get clear on what you want to do and why you want to do it, and realize that you are doing the right thing, and you have faith in yourself, you have faith in people, you're going to develop a ninja-like focus every single time. Do me a favor. No complaining allowed for your first 6 months of marketing online. No blaming, right? Don't ask dumb questions like, why is it not working, when all you've done is share 2 pieces of content, send out 1 email, and refresh your back office 800 times a day for 2 weeks straight, right? That's not working. Let's realize what building a business is and what marketing online really is, realizing that it's a skill and it's an art. And let's learn that skill and let's take over. Will you accept my challenge? Be sure to tell me in the comments in detail the decision that you've made today. And as a special thank you for paying such close attention as my forehead is sweating as you're listening to today's episode, as you're being so willing to take action. I've actually created 3 powerful bonus shortcuts just for you that you could take advantage of at no cost just by putting in your name and email below and clicking the button. And getting access is incredibly simple. So here's what you want to do. Number 1, scroll down, write a detailed, thoughtful, magical comment that enraptures my mind as I read it. And as you do that, you can win a prize for writing the most detailed, thoughtful, imaginative comment of the day that tells us what you're going to do different in your life from today's episode. The next thing that you want to do is put in your information and hit the button below that says, "Give me the daily shortcut." And then on the next page, I've got 3 bonuses for you. Number 1, you're actually going to get a transcription of this entire episode, and you can read it and let the ideas sink into your mind, along with a workbook that's going to be in that PDF. And read it and fill it out today as a part of your personal development, and just keep doing that every day. 5 days a week, we give that to you for free. It's better than paid personal development programs on or off the internet. It'll change your business, it'll change your life, it'll begin to change your relationships. Number 2, I have an audio download for you for free. Take it and listen to this a couple of times and tap into the power of the imagination that you've got inside to create new worlds as you apply these concepts now in your business. And the 3rd bonus, though, this is the most important, because you're here because you want to change your life. You want to make money. You want to get big results. And so we have a system where you can actually take our business system, where all the complicated things that you normally have to do individually are done for you as a part of what we do as a team, and we just help you to make the money. And so that is the Total Shortcut system. And so go ahead and put in your email, get all 3 bonuses right now as you're looking into my eyes, smiling, and yes, I'm sexy. Can you believe I said that, Sandy? And I'll see you in the next episode. Love you.